Hey guys, it's Daniel. Did you know Madison used to have 3 town wells and only one of them exists today? So if you're ready for another adventure, I'll take you on a little tour and give you a little history along the way. Let's go. So as we're walking, I want to share with you guys some old fire insurance maps. This is a map from 1893, and as you can see at the intersection of Murphy and Dalton Street, we have a well. The old town well. And then over on Hunter Street, we have a well, and also on Murphy Street, there's a well. So our first stop on our adventure today is the old public well at the intersection of Murphy Street and Dalton Street. All right, so we're at the town clock again, and a little history about this building. This building was built in 1919 by Mr. Nat Pickett. He was a very prominent businessman in Madison. He's also the one that built the big pink house everyone sees on Hunter Street. He had that built. But see, before he built this, standing right here on the same corner used to be a hotel. It was called the Madison Hotel, and then it changed names to the Merchant Hotel. But it was a very large 2-story hotel, and it had a porch that would stick out into the road with an upper deck to it. And they would welcome all the new arrivals to town off the newly established train. And then right across the street on the opposite corner, where today we find M&M Pawn Shop. These guys have been in business for 43 years. They've been in Madison since 98. Good friends and neighbors, Abe Webster, you guys check them out. Right here stood another hotel. It was called the Central Hotel, and then later ran by 2 sisters. They called it the Stamp House, and there was also the Crystal Cafe in there. Well, what's really cool is right between these 2 hotels, back in the 1800s, is where one of the town wells stood. Now this was a focal point of Madison. Prior to the clock being built, this was an iconic scene. As you get off the train, you would see this well right in front of the street scene down there. And how cool. This was more or less the public well. You know, guests and staff members of the hotel would get water from there. And you know, a well, especially a town well, it's a gathering place where people come get their water for the day, and they sit around telling stories or more or less gossiping about what's going on in town. But how cool would it have been to have seen that standing right there as you come into town? How cool. So as we make our way to our second stop on this adventure, let's take a look at another map. This is a fire insurance map from 1898. And as you can see, we still have the old public well at the intersection of Murphy and Dalton. We still have the one at Murphy Street. However, the one on Hunter Street, 5 years later, seems to have been decommissioned. But that's our second stop of the journey, so let's go take a look. All right, so what we're looking at here is the old Boxley House. It's one of the oldest houses in Madison, built around 1785. It's still operational today. The owner, our friend Ed Moore, he still runs this venue. It's gorgeous, beautiful, and he does a fantastic job. You guys should definitely go online, check them out. But I wanted to start here as a reference point, because if we go up the street a bit, we'll see about where one of those 3 old town wells stood back in the 1800s. So up here, the town had an easement that cut through about right here and extended down to the lower Murphy Street down there. And sitting about right here, we'll let this car go by. Sitting about right here is where the old town well stood, one of the 3. And as you can see, it's been long gone, paved over. but not forgotten.
As we make our way to our last stop of the journey, we find ourselves headed towards Murky Street. Here, we will find the last known, still existing Madison Town Well.
Well guys, we made it to the last stop of our adventure today. For those of you that haven't already figured it out, behind me stands Madison's last known existing town well. Well, it doesn't look much like a well, does it? The well is actually located below it. But before we go down there, I wanted to share a little history about this building. You see, this building is the former home of Mrs. Rabbit's New Way Lunch. Owned and operated by Lily Newnham for over 50 years. So long so that the mayor herself gave Miss Lily an award for having the longest operated business in all of Madison. Here Miss Newnham served hot dogs to her customers with her famous coleslaw. Customers enjoyed them at her bar there or sitting in the booths. And while the doors have closed on New Way Lunch many years ago, you can go on down to Madison Dry Goods and Country Store, and inside there at Briggs Family Kitchen, you will find these same booths that Miss Lily Newnham used inside of her restaurant. And you can enjoy a little bit of the new with a little bit of the old. And real quick, guys, I want to give a special thanks to Kim Martin with Century 21 Total Real Estate Solutions. She's the owner of the building, and she gave us permission to go down and film the Old Town Well. Without Kim, this adventure wouldn't be possible today. So thanks, Kim. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, so we've made it to the back of Mrs. Rabbit's New Way lunch stand. And as you can see, the building's currently under construction, and we have the express permission from the new ownership to come back here to document this for you guys. So I strongly urge you guys, please don't come back here. It is trespassing, and it's rather dangerous at the moment based off the construction that's taking place. One thing I wanted to point out though is if you can look over here, you'll see this opening, and it used to serve as a carport, a doorway, and Miss Rabbit herself would actually pull her car in there, and then she would go up these steps here into the back, and that's where she ran her New Way lunch stand. It was really cool. So we know that Miss Rabbit, she knew about the well. We don't know how many people she may have shown or told about it. We don't know how many people knew about it, or how many people today even know about it. So that's why we wanted to take this special opportunity that we've got to show you guys, give you a tour, take a closer look. Let's go. All right, so here we go, guys. Here is what we've been waiting for. This is the last known town well of Madison. Preserved for years, hundreds of years, by this building, protected from the elements. Wow, what a treasure of Madison history we have down here. And as you can see on the corner right there, that is a concrete foundation that actually went all the way around the well, and on top of that stood the wooden rail or skirt that would go around the well. And then of course you would have posts that would come up, and you'd have a bucket that you could lower down to get water. It still holds water. And other than the dirt that's on the surface of it, it is crystal clear. You can see down the rocks going down. You can even see the very bottom of this thing. It's a rather shallow well, but it did service the town or the animals, and it's such a treasure that it's still here. Another thing that's really neat right here, we get a chance to kind of look back in time at these gigantic rocks. All of these massive stones were hand placed to build the foundation of Madison's Murphy Street Road out there and the sidewalks. And actually, you see that timber right there on the end, right about there, a little above that is where the sidewalk actually starts, where we just came from. But the old guys in Madison, hundreds of years ago, placed these stones to lay the foundations of what our town is today. That's amazing. Another really cool thing we discovered is that back in the 1800s, early on in Madison, there used to be a livery stable for animals, like horses and pigs, and it used to sit right out there where the old public works shelter is. It used to sit right there. And we got to thinking, more than likely, that this well was used for those animals primarily. Of course, people could use it too. But seeing as it's down below street level, it would have had its covered top if you viewed it from the street there. So more than likely, this well serviced the animals back here. But we thought that was really cool. And again, we discovered that looking through the old fire insurance maps. Well, guys, that's the end of our adventure for the day. I hope you've enjoyed walking around the town with me and learning some things, some history, and finally getting to see the last known well in Madison, North Carolina. It's really a treasure that it's still sitting down here. It's been under our nose this whole time. It's really cool. Thank you for letting me take you on this journey. And I think I'm going to sit here for a moment and do some reflecting on Madison's history. See you next time, guys.